We need to control. We need to control our mind, because if we don't control our mind, it goes into negativity, stress. We feel down, worry, frustrated, and there's a chance of fear also. And if we
Hmm.
control our mind, think positive, it will, I mean, in general, lead us towards happiness.
Thank you. What are the two types of indriyas? Anybody else?
Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas.
Jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Example of karmendriya?
Hearing, seeing,
No,
walking.
no.
Hmm.
Voice, legs, hands.
Yeah. So legs and hands are mostly karmendriyas, and jnanendriyas are the other ones. Okay,
Hmm.
fine. Okay, I think that is what we saw, and then we went through the different aspects of large energy, Sachidan. This portion also, I think, we're feeling. So mind has got three main functions. Functions are feeling, willing, and thinking. This also we saw, and then we saw this mechanism of mind. We saw the difference. What is the difference? Can somebody say? When I say difference between intelligence and mind, how do you differentiate? Any example? Differentiate between intelligence and mind. Anybody else?
The mind will be trying to do whatever
Wait,
is
wait,
required.
Prabhu. I want somebody else to answer.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hmm.
So this is about Prabhu. So mind tells us something, and intelligence comes and tells in the past, was it good or not good? So based on that, we take our action. Suppose like listening to like music to relax, okay, but it is not helping us in Krishna consciousness. So we can. So this is our intelligence is telling. So we will not listen to the song. We will listen to something that is Krishna consciousness. Maybe if it is a Krishna consciousness reel,
Okay,
or
Prabhu.
it is
Anil
something
Prabhu.
video.
Thank you. Okay, hold on. Mataji, anybody? Just give me one liner. What is mind versus what is intelligence? One liner means mind means what? Intelligence means what does it do? Just one liner. What does it do? Anybody? Without even telling about Krishna consciousness.
Prabhu, mind is
Hmm.
basically source of action, and
What's
intelligence is the evaluation of that action.
direction of access? Okay, what is a so? Okay, action comes from what?
Experience, Prabhu, or by
Yes.
seeing.
Okay, okay, Vipin Prabhu. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
Intelligence is to use to discriminate what is what.
Yeah,
Then
correct.
mind is to use to accept and reject.
Okay, okay. Hmm. Then anybody else?
I think
Yeah, Shriram Prabhu.
Yeah, just I mean, just I'm telling my just what I know. So normally a lot of thoughts comes always. So that is mind. Then again, we use intelligence whether to do or not to do or not to. I mean, as Prabhu said, is we will use intelligence whether to do the job, not to take the action, not to take. I mean, to take the action or not to take the action.
Okay, okay.
uh, Prabhuji, like mind is the whole system. I think you gave an example of USB drive. Like whole USB drive is like a mind, and what to play is intelligence.
Hmm. Correct. Okay. I don't know why Mataji is very silent today. They are working, they are cooking, they're taking care of children. Okay, fine. So yeah, most importantly, mind is just as you rightly pointed out, mind is just like a reservoir. Mind is nothing but collection of all your past experience, your thoughts, fulfills everything, and mind actually controls the senses. Okay, senses go here and there, and mind is the main rope that actually maintains them. So mind, when the senses go here and there, mind is what is pushing them to do, like just holding. Okay, and it is the center of all the activity of senses. So whatever activities that senses want to perform, it is all driven through the mind. And intelligence, the difference between intelligence and mind is intelligence, as you currently pointed out, it is the discrimination power between what is good and bad, and mind will always bring up with some kind of an action, and then decision is taken through the intelligence. So mind should not be used for decision making. Mind should be controlled. Mind will keep going here and there, sometimes right, sometimes wrong, sometimes right, Many times wrong, sometimes right. Many times right, sometimes wrong. Whatever be it, it will keep going back and forth here and there. Only through intelligence, the mind can be controlled. And mind will is the reservoir of all the senses, which means whatever the senses are doing, that also. So through intelligence, we control the mind also, then we control the intelligence also. Okay, so that is one. And then it is a storehouse of all the thoughts, whatever past, present, previous, and that will help us to bring the right decision. So both are required, but at the same time, which one we should be on top? Senses is the lowest level, and within the, I mean, below the senses are the objects, sense of objects, which are the attractive ones. Then the senses go towards it, and then because the senses are going towards it, the mind is trying to go towards and then getting that. So lowest level is the objects, and then the sense organs, then the senses, then the mind, then the intelligence. And above intelligence is the Jivatma, the person, the actual Jivatma, who is full of consciousness. So everything will go and reside, everything will go and hit upon that particular Jivatma. So that is why the Jivatma has to be very carefully utilize his intelligence and navigate his mind so that the senses are controlled. Okay, so that is where we need to understand. Okay, I think we saw these examples also. Then we saw, and then this is also one nice example given in the Upanishads. So you're able to see the screen, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So this is from Upanishads. Prabhupada gives a wonderful wonderful way of explanation also. This is more from a typical analogical understanding. Senses, analogical understanding is the senses are nothing but the different horses. Horses will keep going back, going in different directions. Only mind as the rope, it has to be pulled. So mind is also required to keep pulling them or giving it loose. And then who is doing it? The driver or the intelligence. The passenger is the Atma or the Jivatma. So the soul has to give the direction to the intelligence and go this side. I have to go to this particular location. I have to do this. Then intelligence will use the mind to control the senses. So accordingly, the senses will keep going accordingly. And sometimes it will go in the right direction and then it will go. So which means there's nothing. But if the senses are going here and there, if the horses are going in and there, it has to be pulled back. So all the four are required to reach the particular destination of the Jivatma. Okay. Now coming to some of the other aspects that we need to see, how do we need to channelizing the karmendriyas is very important, or the jnanendriyas, whatever be the way of understanding. How do we channelize? For years, as Mataji in the last class also mentioned, how do we channelize between standard, because the ears always require some kind of sense gratification. Same way, eyes also, same way, skin also. Whatever be it, either the tongue, the nose, the skin, whatever be it, we need to see how we have to channelize them. Okay, let's discuss about this aspect today, which is very important. Before this, we'll go to this. Okay, there are four or actually 5 types from a research or a science perspective, and our shastras also mention about these 5 types. Okay, first is called as jumping monkey. Jumping. Okay, give me an example of jumping monkey. Anybody? How do we understand jumping monkey?
They keep jumping from one tree to another. They can't stay in one place.
Correct. Give me an example.
The mind wanders.
Correct. Give me an example.
To choose which color to buy any objects or sarees.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So sometimes you go for Mataji, this is the biggest challenge. You go to any saree shop, the saree person will show all varieties. In your mind, you might have already decided Diwali ke liye, Diwali this color, or I don't have that color. Somebody will influence you. So something will be on your mind, but when you go there, the person will show you all kind of things, and your mind starts jumping from here to there to choose up. So when it comes to a decision making, jumping monkey will always come in and say here this, that, and till the last moment you will never be able to decide on it. Okay, and then finally somebody else will come and say do this or somebody else will force you, then you are just like that accepting it. Okay, that is jumping monkey. Same way, any decision making, if you are not able to take it, you need to go and consult. You need to, what is the solution? You need to go on through the intelligence. You need to consult through somebody. If you are able to consult yourself based on your past experiences, past this one, then you will come to know, okay, this is the best one, this is the next one. Like that, you can decide. Okay. So sometimes it will be very quick. For example, for men, taking a particular dress will be just like that. They will do. Some men, I'm saying. For some, I don't know. But just in a general state of mind, their mind is keep moving from one particular thing. Today we will go or not. We will wake up or not. We will not go or not. We will wake up at Mangalarti or Mangala. So these kind of unstable thing will be there. Sometimes it will be stable, sometimes unstable. But this is one kind of a nature will keep moving. One main thing that you need to understand is all five also can be there. All five can be also controlled, but for 1%, all five will come and go. Okay. But how do we channelize? How do we see that particular state? So whenever you get a situation, immediately you have to think about what is your current state of mind. What is your current state of mind? Is it like a jumping monkey or it is just next thing? Okay. Clear? What is crying and restless child? It is dissatisfied. What is crying and restless child? Give me an example.
Roger, like for example, how much ever money one earns, they're always the mind always focuses on what we don't have and how much more can we earn.
Good, very good example. So the want is more, the need is zero, and whatever you try to put it, you will never be satisfied. Right? Like Mother, you mentioned the money aspect. Whatever somebody wants to always get glorified. Somebody wants to always get that, wow, supreme, you are the, and somebody wants to be always get the required attention. You go to a hall, you go to the center, if you pay position, somebody has to come and say Hare Krishna to you. And then somebody, so your mind is always restless. You keep going here and there, and restless here, it means you're not satisfied, you're not patient, and sometimes you are not satisfied whatever be it. So it is always wanting. The want is more, right? So typically a crying child, for example, in our families, you, whenever the child is crying, what you try to do, you try to do all means. You try to give a doll, you try to give a chocolate, you try to give this something, all kind of things, right? So in a way, it is always dissatisfied. Okay. Any other example for dissatisfied mind?
Prabhu, is prasadam one option?
Prasadam also, yeah, prasadam also. You will be taking your plate and then you'll be watching how much he puts. Suddenly somebody puts something more to another person, you don't get a particular thing, your mind will automatically get sent. Why? Because the senses will see. How does it intelligently happen? I mean, how does it actually happens? Your eyes will see, your mind will go and think, oh, eyes will see, oh, this has happened. This, so immediately the senses will get agitated. Okay, good. Okay, this is the third one is little tricky. Okay, unchaste and prostitute. How do we understand that? Different. This I'm just putting as different colors of dress, changing to attract men. So give me, just think about little more deeper. It is very subtle. See, whatever scientifically understanding these things, why are we going so deep into this? Next time you are in a situation, you have to think about how is my state of mind. Then accordingly to help you to do a proper evaluation. The third one is all five are subtle. Okay, all five is nobody will be able to, if you ask somebody to stand and say, how is your mind thinking, nobody will be able to do. It is all subtle, 100% subtle. But the person who is having that consciousness, that mind will know what is it. Okay, now third one, unchaste, and the word prostitute is used here. It's the very important subtle one. Okay, and then the answer, the second line is changing / to attract. We leave out men. Okay, so now tell me, give me an example. Whatever you have understood.
Whatever we might have liked, like today or something, we may change it like tomorrow, something else. The mind keeps on wanting more. Today it will ask for something. Supposing I like something today, then tomorrow it will be something different only. So something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Sorry. Should I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, could it be like not steady in one direction? For example, there are people who do believe in Krishna and then they also worship some other gods. Okay, let me worship this also. Let me worship.
That can fall under jumping monkey also.
Okay.
But this has got a very subtle. So I told you about, and I gave you a hint about the second portion of it.
So not faithful or not fixed in Krishna consciousness.
Not, yeah, you're touching that point. Not faithful, but let's see how others can understand. Prabhuji's.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So can it be like a person who talks about someone behind their back, but he does to everyone? Like with person A, he's talking about person B. With person B, he's talking about person A. Like prostitute mind kind of thing. Like, is that the subtle meaning?
No. That is okay. That is like it's a kind of a character. That's all. But his state of mind is not brought out.
Prabhuji, is it directly touching that the faithfulness and the character of a
Faithful,
person?
to some extent faithful, but the word here changing. See, mind is always not steady, right? So that is understanding. Because
you're not faithful.
Yeah, correct.
Not faithful to one partner.
Not faithful to one
you're always attracted to new, and then you chase it basically.
Okay, partially correct. So in all these different types of nature, it is not steady. It is not stable. It keeps changing. Okay, that is a basic thing. Okay. Anybody else?
Maybe I can try. Prabhu, I'm thinking not loyal to somebody who is taking care of you.
loyal.
For example, in an office, you're working in an office, they are giving you enough materials or whatever the thing to satisfy you, but still, people are looking for different companies. They jump over just because, they want to, compare with the others and then just move around. Basically not loyal, even though you are satisfied by the other party, like good company. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Anybody else? So I want you,
Hare
all
Krishna,
of you,
Prabhu.
to think. Yeah, Prabhu. Shriram Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, I'm thinking it can be like what we do in sometimes with daily life, like we sit for work or sit for study, and within a minute our mind shift to phone. Within minute, then we move to social media. Then we get hungry. Some worries come. Then we start thinking about our future. Like very frequently, our mind keep on changing.
Yeah, that is the last one, wind. Okay, it will be like you keep changing back and forth. Sometimes it is normal, sometimes it is this one will be like okay. Yeah, partially okay, correct, okay.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Nice.
Is it like luring? Luring means like mind behaves like luring means like in Hindi we say वो गाजर दिखाता है. It's like we show him something, it gets attracted. The way prostitute also does different tactics to attract her customer. The same way the mind lures with the different sense object. Is it something like that?
Yeah, partially correct. Partially. So it is attracting something. Okay. Partially correct. It's attracting. Correct. Okay. Anybody? Last.
Just
Yeah, bro.
Just I want to give an example. See, for example, teenagers, right? Teenagers. So, I mean, in general, the realization is they wanted to attract, in general, they change the dress, morning one, afternoon one, evening one. So that they try to
For what purpose? For what purpose?
In general, that is what do you call that? In other words, they tell that I want to love a certain person, but again, that's not that level. In general, is
just an attraction.
Yeah. Yes, probably. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this correct. So partially you're correct. Being faithful, unfaithful is also correct. See, sometimes what will happen, the mind, just to satisfy, just to attract others, just to get others' attention. Okay. Whatever they like, you will do it. Or whatever they want, you will behave. Whatever others like to see or like to do, we will take it up. Getting me? So I don't have my own way of. I will see that others, if they come and say, oh, can you do this? This is so nice if you. So just for that particular moment, that particular thing, we will try to. We are not truthful to ourselves. Means we are not giving our own thought process, our own thinking, our own intelligence, our own feelings. But we will see for others, and that is also not faithful because it will keep changing. For example, I'll give an example. Your mother-in-law comes and says, do this, and you'll have to do this. For example, I'm telling to Matajis, your mother-in-law will come and say, do this, and then like if you want to get this one, you will just to follow her and then try to do it. Immediately after some time, your sister-in-law comes and says, no, do this is the other way. What will happen? You will try to see and then try to attract or the word attract or satisfy or to draw attention, whatever be it. The mind will just to go for the other person and then try to fulfill the other person's way, so that it will fulfill their desire, it will fulfill the other desire also. At the same time, it might fulfill the actual desire of the person or it might not fulfill, but it will be always not in its own decision making, its own steady. It will just keep on trying to take it up from an other's perspective, which partially may be correct, which partially may be true, but at the same time, it doesn't have its own true identity. It doesn't have its own true decision making. It doesn't have its own self way of exhibiting. It will always be like, oh, you come, okay. The second and the third and the fourth is almost likely the same. Fourth is, now you understood the third one?
Yes, probably.
Is motive guiding that follow the others, what others want?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it is correct. Sometimes it might lead to completely in an impermanent state or on an unfaithful state. Okay, like how initially when Mataji told, no, somebody will come and say, oh, do this, you'll get this, then you will follow. Then somebody else, no, you're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Which means you don't have a clear decision making point. You will just follow blindly, and then just to satisfy, or at some point of the time, you will just follow blindly. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One thing, Prabhuji. How is this different from jumping monkey thing? Because that's also same way, no, Prabhuji?
Correct. That's what I'm saying. If you go a little more detail, all five will look like more or less same kind of a thing. Okay. Jumping monkey is where the jumping monkey is, it doesn't depend on others. It doesn't attract others. It doesn't have to satisfy others. It doesn't have to take others' point of view and all. But in the third, it will see that it will try to see others' point of view. So first one is always its own way of doing it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
But third and fourth is it will have a dependency on others, but the others they will see that how others are getting satisfied. It's the third one. Fourth one is like water. Wherever there is shallow, which means wherever there is an airway, it will just keep going. For example, if you have water, you just pour water in the floor. Okay. So the water, how does the water flow? It flows based upon the shallowness or the depth. Like wherever the direction of this one goes, it just goes. So it is completely blinded. Third one, at least it will try to satisfy others. It will try to back here and there. But fourth one, totally follow the path without any proper direction. Sometimes we'll go this, sometimes we'll go that, sometimes we'll go, and then there is no direction at all. It will just follow without any kind of a thing. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
And fifth is the most important thing, which you can clearly understand. Fifth means what? Wind. Sometimes the breeze, the opposite of wind energy, turbulent or storm, whatever you call it, is breeze, right? So sometimes it is very strong, like it will be too much high and turbulent something. Otherwise, nothing. It will be just plain. It will be just. So it is two extremes is the wind. So sometimes our mind will be extreme, shouting here and the back and forth. Sometimes our mind will not at all work. we are supposed to do something, we'll forget that also. So either it is 0 or extreme. Okay, clear? Okay,
Yes,
give me an
Prabhu.
example. Give me an example of wind.
Hare Krishna.
Somebody's anger, they can't control, Prabhu. Just like that, they blast.
Okay. Another example.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hmm.
So, Prabhu, giving example of currently. So, currently AI is like a wind, and almost everyone is forced to learn to survive.
Correct. Okay. Give me an example in Krishna conscious way of wind.
Prabhu, Krishna conscious way of flowing water, for example, can be the way you are doing your sadhana. Sometimes you just do your sadhana because you have started going to temple. You start doing things artificially, but you really don't know why you are doing it. So majority of the time this happens until and unless it really hits you and it really strikes you and you really went goes deep, then only you have a direction. Otherwise, you're heading without direction for decades.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good.
Sometimes you'll do 16 rounds, sometimes you'll do less, something like that.
Exactly. Sometimes when tomorrow, day after tomorrow, yo Ramanami, we'll do this, that. Okay, next week we have Vyas Puja celebrations, and they will when Maharaj comes or somebody comes, we will do all kind of things. For example, Janmashtami. After Janmashtami or after Prabhupada, that's all. Well, let's take a break. That's all. Afterwards, it will be like complete silence. They'll go into a kind of incognito mode. Okay, and then come back again. So there's no steadiness. It will keep on going ups and down. Okay, so that is even in Krishna consciousness. So it doesn't matter about which way, what with this one. So the understanding of this nature is of mind is what? To see one for ourselves. One, when you are in a situation, immediately you should see whether what is the state of your mind. And then to calm your mind is the other aspects that we will come. The other aspect of seeing these kind of nature is when somebody else is in a situation. Let's say you're talking with your children, you're talking with your husband after coming to office, you are talking with your friends, you're talking with your in-laws, or you're seeing somebody performing an action. You should be able to judge means you should be able to calculate here means you should be able to make a particular way of understanding on their current behavior, and then accordingly you can take a proper. Sometimes if it is like if their mind state of husband state of mind is like wind, what you will simply do? If your husband state of mind is wind, what mothers will do typically?
Keep quiet, Prabhu.
That is best option. But sometimes that is the best option. But if there is a wind coming, you are also creating another wind. What will happen? That's all. Right? Same way. So in a way, we need to see how do we apply these principles in your day-to-day life. Bhagavad Gita gives a very wonderful examples of how do we apply all these principles in your day-to-day life so that you can take proper decisions, so that you can become shantim, so that you can be happy. There will be situations. It's not that, okay, we are trying to come out of those situations. There will be situations, but how to face those situations, in a proper understanding with proper knowledge is what Bhagavad Gita is trying to give us. Okay, so that these principles you need to start applying. How do we apply? Sometimes I forgot. You told me all these things. I'm not able to. So that point of the time, what you have to do? What do you have to do?
Chant Hare Krishna.
Chant Hare Krishna. Okay, then
Prabhu, be honest and
be
tell
honest.
somebody and again seek guidance.
Be honest. Again, seek guidance. Okay. All you have to do. One more tip is always you seek your Paramatma. Okay. Yeah, you can seek external help. You can do chanting, but you can seek Paramatma's help. You take a pause. You take Paramatma's help. Definitely, Paramatma Krishna will come and guide you. Okay. If you're not able to get that guidance, then you go and ask somebody who's with somebody senior, somebody, and then you will be able to take a proper. Okay, let's go. So dhyayato vishayan pumsah sangastejo bhajayate sangat sanjayate kama kama krodho bhajayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vimsah. Okay, smriti vimsat buddhinasho buddhinasho pranashyati. That is the two slokas, very important. That is what we're just going to go through. So dhyayato vishayan pumsah means vishaya is all the attachment. Sangastejo bhajayate sangat sanjayate kama. The kama is the last portion. Kama will unsatisfied or unfulfilled kama will go to anger, and then from anger delusion of mind, and delusion of mind to bewilderment. Bewilderment means you will not know what is exactly trying to. Then your intelligence is lost. Okay. How to conquer? This is what Prabhupada brings through the different aspects through the Bhagavad Gita. He answers this in the purport. Okay, he's using the word yoga. Okay, the word yoga across everywhere we will see different types, but from a very simple understanding, yoga means to do practice. Whatever be it, we need to practice. Whatever we need to do, either it is a bhakti or either you do whatever activity that you do, you have to keep on practicing it. You get to practice all the other aspects is also important. Okay, we need to have a discipline. We need to follow certain procedures, certain rules. We need to follow certain rules and regulations. We need to be titikshava. We need to be tolerant. Okay, and then most importantly, withdrawal also. So sometimes, for example, as I told you in the situation, in the previous situation, I told you somebody is completely shouting at you. All you have to do is just withdraw yourself in that particular situation, whatever be it. Then you are not there, which means you are able to control yourself. Okay, and you are in a very difficult situation. You are in a very disturbing situation where so many things are happening back and forth. You have to start doing meditation. Meditation here means performing your chanting. So whatever be this, these are all some of the ways where you can apply your intelligence so that your mind is in a proper state. Okay, because mind is not fixed, because mind is always in any kind of way. Okay, and there are some tips also. Okay, some usually we always say forgive and forget, don't blame others. There are so many things we have to depend upon this one. Give up craving. These are all some of the things Prabhupada is giving in the purpose. Okay, if you go through, then you will be able to quickly understand. Okay, let's go to the purpose, then it will be. Most importantly, don't increase your wants, decrease your wants. Prabhupada is giving the simple living, high thinking philosophy. Don't purchase trouble. Be responsible. Example of the be responsible, don't purchase trouble. Oh, any example?
Don't be careless. Don't be careless in Krishna consciousness. Then you take your own responsibility, and otherwise, purchase trouble means you may fall down anytime.
Okay. Anybody else?
Prabhu, doing things which you very well know that you're not supposed to do. Yet you still get tempted by your mind and just again fall into it.
Correct.
And that creates 10 more extra problems. So
Fine. Okay. So these are some of the ways for the karmendriyas. How do we ensure that between material and then between spiritual? These are all practical tips. I think you might be in a better position to do it. Two slokas are very important. Yata samhrite chayam kurmangani sarvasaha indriyat. This portion we have seen. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha. Asehi asya indriyani tasya pragya pratishita. So he has to. The word in this matparaha is very important. Yukta asita matparaha. So matparaha means fixing up the consciousness, mind, everything on the paraha, on the supreme, on the highest truth, on the absolute truth. Okay. So when somebody is able to fix it, so all that we have to do is we have to focus, we have to channelize all our indriyas towards our Rishikesha. So Rishikena Sevanam. So if we are able to do that, then we will be able to. Okay, let's go to 65 and then come back. Okay, we will go to 61 to 65 today. We just finished the purport and translation, then we'll come back. There are some nice analogies also. We'll just go through those analogies. First chapter, not that much analogies, but very importantly, from your syllabus perspective, we'll have to go through all the analogies and then the questions also. Okay. Okay, let's go to sloka. So clear about this mind and intelligence, and then Sthita Pragya question. Okay, so let's go to that. So whatever, whichever slokas we have seen 60, 61, 62, 63. We'll go to 65 onwards. Okay, we'll try to complete 5 slokas today, the remaining section, so that we'll be able to, yeah. 65 is the conclusion of that particular chapter. Okay, prasade sarva dukkanam hanir asho bajayate prasanna chetaso hyaso buddhir paryavashishtate. For one, thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries, this we have seen. Okay, miseries of material existence no longer exist. In such stated satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon established. So when you get to that consciousness, then our intelligence is soon established. So sometimes what intelligence also will go back and forth here and there, but all that we need to do is try to control that. Okay, prasanna chetasam. Prasanna means happy, santushta, happy, and then once the material mysteries will go away. Okay, so let's go to that. Yeah, please read the purport. Okay, nice sloka. Na asti buddhir yuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavanah na cha abhyayata shantir ashantasya ashantasya kutasukam. Kutasukam. He is asking, kuta means where is it? So he is asking a question back, kind of a question back to Arjuna. Yeah, please read the translation purport quickly.
Krishna Babuji. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 5.29, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace, however much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. Krishna consciousness is a self manifested, peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, how much ever they can show, I am very peaceful and happy, it might not be the real case. So only solution is to get into a Krishna conscious way of living. Okay. Yeah. So this is the conclusion of the entire section where he is trying to put in a very important point: use your intelligence. At the same time, most importantly, use your intelligence. Na cha yuktasya bhavanaha. Okay. If it is not connected, yuktasya means yukta vairagya, yukta. The word yukta will be used in across different sections also. That is where he is making that it has to have a connection. It has to have that buddhi, the transcendental intelligence. Prabhupada is giving a nice word called as buddhi, transcendental intelligence. Okay, it is not material intelligence. Material intelligence means that is within the threefold miseries, within this material world. Transcendental is above the threefold, above the three gunas, above the three different material modes, whether it is sattva-guna, rajoguna, or tamoguna. It is transcendental buddhi, not the normal material buddhi. Krishna is telling, okay, na asti buddhir yuktasya. There cannot be na asti buddhir yuktasya, na cha bhavo. So he's taking the na. Okay. So if you don't have intelligence, if it's not, no intelligence, no connection, okay, no bhavana. Three things he is saying. No bhavana means bhavyata. Bhavana or bhavyam means that fixed mind. So all these three will, if it is not there, there is no question of shanti. So peace requires buddhi. Peace requires relationship or connection with the Lord. Peace requires steady mind. Okay, in a different way of understanding, from a positive way of understanding, you have to have a buddhi, you have to have a yuktasya, you have to have a bhavana, that particular state of mind, and also the connection. So once you get this, then you will be able to get that sukha. Okay. Okay, let's go quickly. 67. Okay, please read. Anyway, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano anuvidyate tad asya harati prajnam vayur navam ivambasi. Translation: as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. As mentioned in the life of Maharaj Ambrasha, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique for controlling the mind.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So not one, it has to be indriyanam hi charatam. Okay, charatam means it will just keep going here and there. It is mana buddhi, everything has to be vayu. It's like how this is an analogy. Okay, so throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself will give a lot of analogy, and Prabhupada also will give analogy. So there will be an exam question point of view. Give us the analogy of how vayur navam amambasi. For example, how the boat will get swayed in the water through a strong wind. So what is the comparison? There will be an exam question. So you have to compare, you have to write similar to how the mind gets focused through various kinds of, gets deviated through various roaming senses. Mind, here three things are there: mind, boat, and then on the water, right? So the same way, what will happen? The boat is nothing but the intelligence that gets carried away. Why? Because it is strongly done by the roaming senses, and it just gets carried away. Okay. Yeah, please read. Anybody? Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigritani sarvasah indriyani indriyartebhyah tasya pragya pradishtita. Yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, synonyms or translation can start.
Translation purport you can read. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. Okay, translation. Therefore, O mighty armed one, those senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Purport. One can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As enemies are corrupt by superior force, the senses can similarly be corrupt, not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So Prabhupada is like last line of reasoning. So practice this art under the guidance of a principle. So slowly Prabhupada is also giving a very important aspect. What is it? He's giving the understanding that yes, I have to control my mind, I have to control my senses, I have to use my intelligence. And how is it possible? All my actions have to be dovetailed through Krishna conscious way. But how that is also can be possible is through a sadhana, a sadhaka. I have to become a practitioner. How do I can do the practice? Is under the guidance of a spiritual master. So Prabhupada is also giving or making us understand that we have to go to the next level. So we are trying to understand this knowledge. We are attempting to understand this knowledge. And what is the purpose of attempting this knowledge? To get happiness, peace of mind, move out of these material miseries, all those benefits. How do we do it? Is through a guidance of a spiritual master. Okay. Yeah, this is also very nice, interesting sloka. We'll try to attempt to this sloka. Okay. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyaham jakriti samyami yasyam jakriti bhutani na nisha sa nisha pashyato munihe. Yeah, please read the translation perfect.
What is night for all time? What is night for all beings is a time of awakening for the self-control. And a time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Purport. There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic man. The sage feels transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reactions. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, sorry, I was on mute. So I was telling, so Krishna is giving two different personalities here. Na yanisha sarva bhutana tyasaham jagriti. Jagrata. The word jagrati is a very wonderful word. Wakeful. What is meant by wakefulness? Can somebody give me an example? Jagriti. What is meant by awakeness? Being awake.
Being alert.
Being alert. Very good. Okay.
Being conscious of what
Being
exactly
conscious
you're
of
doing.
exactly. Very good. Thank you. So being conscious of what exactly in your situation, your surrounding, whatever be it, you're alert, you're conscious, and you'll be able to. So that is where the Jagrati is word. Very importantly, in Shankaracharya, even in his very many poetries using the word Jagrati. This Jivatma has to come out of the dormant state to become a fully conscious state, full of Jagrata state. Okay, Jagrati state. Okay. So Krishna is giving two ways. One is when sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati. So when all the other things, all the other people who are in the mood or who are in the sleeping state, in the dormant state, which means they are not able to understand correctly, they are not able to realize correctly. Then, however, yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisho pashyato munehe. The word munehe is so the intelligent persons or the controlled, self-controlled persons, the stira buddhir persons will be able to be very clear, very awake in a current situation. Okay, so he's giving an example. So many of us, the word here Jagrata awakening is not about sleeping and getting up in the morning, and he's just giving an example, making the intelligence at the highest level, making the use of the mind in the correct aspects, controlling the senses. So if all the people are in one way, but Mune or the persons who are in a very higher consciousness or a higher state of mind, they will be always in the awakened state, or they'll be in a very alert state. Okay, that is very, very important. I told, I think in one of the class I told about alertness in spiritual life. When Rama wanted to go to forest, all the Ayodhya Vasis went along with him in the night. Okay, next day morning when they all woke up, Rama and Lakshmana and Sita was not there. They were completely shocked. They thought, Aram say, okay, we have all come with Rama. We can be with Rama in the forest for 14 years. Nothing without Rama, no Ayodhya. So they all came. But that one day night, they were thinking, okay, They had that, okay, let us be with Ram, nothing will happen, we are going to make this, everything. But next day morning, they were completely shocked. So that alertness have to be there. Sometimes we'll become low, sometimes, but it's okay. But the being alertness is very, very important. Okay. And the word Prabhupada is using a very nice word, the introspective sage. Fantastic word. Very nice word. Nobody can bring out such a wonderful word like anything. We want to appreciate Prabhupada. So much of content has been put in that particular word. Okay, give me an example. How do you understand this word? I'm making you think. Okay, don't assume what is this, Prabhu. The word last year is the introspective man. What is meant by introspective sage, introspective man? Give me an example in this context.
Like why we are born, like that, contemplating on that aspect.
Contemplating. Okay, why we are born? Why we are born is very this one. Okay.
Why we face this kind of problem.
Yeah, that is very high level, Mataji. Just to the context of anything that requires introspection. I'm giving an example. I'm giving a clue. Introspection. The word, for example, I'll give you an example. Material persons versus introspective persons. How do you?
They don't waste their time in gossip or in like unnecessary talks.
Okay.
The introspective men,
Okay.
sages. Like
Prabhu, Bharat Maharaj example.
Yeah, you can give an example.
He is an introspective man or an introspective sage.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that is a good example. But I want some practical example here. See, why Prabhupada is using this word introspective sage, and the word introspective itself is very important. It is very relative to the context here. The previous line, if you read, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, sometimes happy, sometimes distressed. Okay, please give me an example to this context.
one who's disciplined. Yeah.
See, why? Okay, Prabhuji's, I don't know why suddenly Prabhuji's become silent.
Prabhuji, I think introspective man here is like who has who has questioned himself a lot about his existence and is conscious about about the, I mean, I'll not say Krishna consciousness, who's conscious about the reality of the Jivatma and not being indulgent towards
This is
the
at very high
material
level.
things.
Okay, correct. You're correct. I'm not saying no, but it is very high level. You're talking about who am I, consciousness. Mata is also mentioning about. So there is a very high level. But at the bottom level, at the ground level, I'm saying I want to understand at the
Hare
ground.
Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, introspect means maybe like whatever we are doing, we should be aware of that.
We should be aware
That
of.
we are doing it correctly or incorrectly, or that's all. So talking to yourself.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
Carefully doing the task according to
Carefully doing
the scriptures, rather than whimsically doing it.
rather than whimsically. Okay. See, what is the very topmost way of putting it is, see, when you want to advance in spiritual culture, when you're thinking you are in the right direction, when you feel I am growing, right? Many a times, if you don't do a proper introspection, you are actually will be in a wrong direction. Okay, this is the fact. This is the reality. When you think you are in a high good state, very I'm Bhakti, I'm already initiated, I'm doing my 16 rounds, I'm this, I'm that, I'm already qualified, I am, which may not be the correct awakening state, which may not be. So it requires, whenever it is required, you need to keep introspecting whether I'm doing correctly, whether it is actually satisfying, whether it is anukulyam, whether it is making me progress in my bhakti, or it is at least making me in a steady state, whether it is, or I'm going down. Okay, so very importantly, sometimes we feel like we are not sense gratification, but we are only doing, I'm having only prasadam, I'm going always to temple, I'm always, but what is the outcome? What is the outcome?
Like purpose, Prabhu. Like
What is the purpose? Correct. What is the purpose? So those things require introspection. Introspection means keep on checking again whether, as Chandrakant Prabhu mentioned, whether am I really correctly doing or not. It might be correct, but correct to what is the purpose this there, right? So that is where the word intro, and that is why Prabhupada is also using one the Muni will always do an introspection whenever required. Okay, so that he is always Jagrata, he always in the awakening state. So it is not a very easy in a normal standard way of living. It is very tough. Okay, that is a practical way. But if you keep practicing it, if you keep doing it, then it will be part of your life.
So basically, it means that keep reflecting on your spiritual practices and improve wherever is wrong, and then reflect back again, and keeps going in circle.
So it can be a spiritual line also. Even for normal day-to-day, this one also, sometimes you will feel like, I am always right. It might be, but if you don't, then it is actually in the dormant state. It is already in a sleeping state. So you need to be a little more conscious, means here little more introspective way. Clear?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think Devkinandan Prabhu always says during the Damodar Puja that programs that we should, rather than making a ritual out of the Damodar programs, should be spiritual. We should know why we are doing Damodar.
Correct. Yeah, mostly all these ritualistic things will actually become dormant, will become useless until we are not able to connect to the exact purpose of what or why we are doing it. Okay, right. Thank you, Mataji. That is also okay. The word here, gradual advancement of spiritual culture. So we need to go towards the person who is always alert will ensure it's a gradual advancement. It is not that direct growth. He's talking very nice one. Even advanced, he didn't use the word direct advancement. He's saying gradual advancement, which means everybody of us will go that step-by-step procedure. It will be baby step for somebody, it will be high jump for somebody, it will be a long jump for somebody. It doesn't matter. But it is a gradual advancement of spiritual culture for who is very always alert. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? We might think you are actually advancing, but actually we will not have been advancing. It will be like, I have been there for 15 years, I've been there for 20 years, I'm doing chanting. So whatever be it, if that awakening state is not there, it is just in a normal state of performing karma only, not performing a karma. Okay.
How do you know that, Prabhu?
That is why introspection. That is what you will know. Okay, you if you are doing it, you will definitely know. It is not, if you're not able to do, then you come, we can have separate discussion, separate consultation, and then we will have some questionnaire and checklist we will ask you. Okay, then with that question and answer, that is why we have some sessions. Then with that questions answers, you will self will know whether you are in the correct direction or in the right direction. For example, you are having prasadam. Okay, yes, I'm taking prasadam only, but the craving for prasadam keeps on increasing. Last in one class also I mentioned. How do we know? The craving for prasadam keeps on increasing, and then one day you stand in the line and the last person you don't get anything. Okay, how well your mind and intelligence acts, and then how well your consciousness accepts that particular fact will determine whether we are in the right direction. I'm just giving an example.
Okay, bro.
Okay. And then, for example, you're chanting and your best friend calls or your mother-in-law calls. Okay. So like that, there are some typical situations we'll put you in that situations. Then you will know how you can introspect yourself. We'll put you in some very angry mood. Okay. Some example I'm giving you. And then try to see how and what is the state of mind you come out. That's an introspection way of checking yourself. Okay.
Is there a session for that, Prabhuji? I mean, what you just described regarding the...
Of course, we can do it, Prabhuji. We do a lot of sessions like this, workshop sessions for this. We will come in 14th and 17th chapter. That is more from the typically when we do this in a practical way, in the modes of nature, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, we have a checklist. We'll give you that question paper without the answers. Then we'll get your feedback with a rating. Then we will know exactly your evaluation, where you have to improve. Okay.
Okay.
So if you are in the Sattva guna or you are in the Rajoguna or in your Tamoguna. then we'll be able to do it. I wanted to do one session. Actually, I wanted to do this session in person, actually. This entire brain session, we want to do in person. One day, actually monthly once we are supposed to meet. I was supposed to meet this March month. I think I don't know, we'll be able to do. Maybe in April first week or April second week, we'll have an in-person session in the center. Then maybe we'll do a retrospective of this entire chapter, this section. Then we can think about it. Okay.
Okay.
There is something called as a health checklist of Bhakti. Okay, I'll give you like how you go do your health check in your office. Sorry, in your hospital for sugar, BP, and all. No, there is health checklist in spiritual life also. But you have to be honest. That is the only thing. If you are able to put it in a different way, accordingly the result also will vary. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, we can do that. It's all intro. That's why it's self-introspection. Nobody's going to evaluate you on our. So I can give you, then you yourself evaluate and then come back. Then you will see where you are. Okay. We'll do that exercise. We'll do that exercise maybe in the first week or second week of April in person. Then you can do an introspective this one.
Yeah, Prabhu. I think second week of April should be fine. First week I'm traveling. I don't want to miss it.
No problem. Yeah. Okay. Quickly, last 2 slokas. This last 3 slokas we can take it up later. I think I can. This is the one that we already saw. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enters in the river. Samudramapam. This sloka is also about Samudramapa pravashyanti dihavad tadvat kamayan pravashyanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. So apuryamanam. Okay. Always achala pradishtam. Achala pradishtam. Chalam, chanchalam, achalam. Okay. Nishchalam also is there. Very steady state. Again, this is another example Krishna is giving about how all kind of rivers, when it goes to the ocean doesn't get any disturbance, right? So similarly, even though when all kind of desires, everything will still come into the mind and intelligence, then also he will be always in a very peaceful state. For that person alone can achieve peace, not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So it is like you try to kama kami. You're trying to fulfill one desire, what will happen? Another desire will come. You try to fulfill another desire will come. Typically, we say this example, right? Cycle to moped to bike to car, whatever be it. The same way, your senses will always keep trying to be satisfying nature. So once you are getting into that particular portion, then you will be able to get this. Okay. Fine. We'll finish off these last 2 slokas and then do more thorough revision of the second chapter on Saturday. This sloka is very important. We will take it up on next Saturday. Nispraha, Nirmamo, Nirahankara. 3 main things Krishna is talking in the 71 and 72 sloka. I think we will stop here today. Hare Krishna. So today's homework exercise, maybe you do an introspection about yourself on one particular aspect. Whatever aspect you feel, whether I'm doing in chanting alone, or in waking up alone, or performing your sadhana in other aspects, or are you reading, or are we taking prasadam, or whatever, or how much of anger I'm getting. Take up all those perspective in the whole 1 month, how many times or whole 1 week, or whole 1 day, whatever it is, how many times I was able to remember Krishna? One question. How many times I got angry? How many times I was able to remember something good? How many times I was able to thank that particular in a day? How many times I thanked somebody? So just put all these thoughts, then maybe we can discuss on Saturday. Okay. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.